What's going on, guys? This is Lior and welcome back to my channel. Now we are back here in East Boston, phase 2 of our Bremen Street condo development. You can see it's standing right behind me. If you guys remember from the very first video, this was actually a 3-story structure. We are probably 80 to 90% of the way done with the framing. I'm gonna give you guys a walkthrough of what it looks like on the inside so you guys can get a feel of this project. Obviously, we went up the 4-story at this point. And as a reminder, I'm gonna walk over here. This is Bremen Street. One of my favorite things about this project is we're overlooking the Bremen Street Park. So from a condo perspective, this location is unbelievable. The T-stop is literally right over here. You've got the condos are overlooking a beautiful park, walkway. So it's an awesome location. Enough about that. Let's go inside and I'll show you guys the progress we've been making here over the last several months. All right, so welcome to the inside of this project. Now we are walking up actually to the penthouse. This is the 4th floor, and this is that story that we added, right? So if you guys remember from my previous video, over the spring and the early summer, we had to do a ton of structural work in the basement, re-supporting the existing basement. We did a foundation addition to increase the span of the property. And now over the last several months, we've been framing it out. So we started with, of course, with the basement, worked our way up, framed in the addition as well as we were going up. And then this was the last phase, which was building up this entire 4th floor, right? So the framers literally took down the old roof and, put new subfloor, went up. We just framed in this new roof within the past week. And yeah, so that's kind of the backstory. In terms of layout, I'm gonna give you guys a quick layout walkthrough. There's some things I'm very particular about. And I just wanna point out some of the cool details that we're integrating, right? So again, 4-story, you walk in, hallway. These are 2-bed, 2-bath units plus office, right? So you get your one common bedroom right here, which is nice. One thing too that I really like about these units that I'm very particular about, check out the span of this hallway. It's actually about 44 inches or so finish, and it just feels very wide, right? I hate really tight, even though code is typically 36, we try to make these hallways a little wider to give them a really nice feel. You also right here have your office space. So again, obviously not big enough to be a bedroom, but this is an awesome place to park. You're gonna have an office. Look at the size of this window, right? It's gonna be one big casement window right here. And then check these views out, right? I mean, imagine working here, you're working from home, and you're just overlooking the greenway right here, the park. You can even see Logan, right? The airport, you can see the famous Delta sign right there. So these views are absolutely incredible, overlooking the park. I mean, it'd be a great office for anyone, right? So that was one thing that I really love about these units that are different than phase 1, because if you guys remember from my other videos, phase 1 were 2-bed, 2-baths. They didn't have that office, and they were a little bit different, right? The kitchen and living room were more overlooking the front, whereas here we decided to kind of give office exposure, some bed exposure, and then change it up a little bit. Common bathroom, of course, and then you walk into here, and this is the kitchen and living. So a little bit different than phase 1 as well. These are gonna feel a little different. We're gonna have a large center island here with your kitchen cabinet wall, living space, and kind of like 252 over there on phase 1. We have a big slider walkout, except this time instead of walking out from your master bedroom, you're gonna be walking out from your living room, so a little bit different. But again, we're gonna build up large decks, so each unit is gonna have their own private deck. And again, you'll have a big slider, plenty of light coming in. It's gonna feel fantastic. And then you're gonna have your primary suite. This we're gonna design pretty similarly. I really like this layout. So good sized bedroom. This is actually a little bit bigger than phase 1. And then what we'll do is very similar. We'll got built out closets on both sides. It's a walk-through primary closet. We're gonna have a pocket door framing here, and you're gonna get into your primary bath. So that's kind of the feel of these units. Again, similar to some degree to phase 1, but a little bit different, right? I really wanted to make the rooms a little bit bigger. We of course have the office space. I think it just has a little bit of a grander feel to it. Some other details that we're kind of working through and thinking through right now. Again, I want to show you the scope of what goes on even as we're framing, right? We got to be, as developers, we got to be thinking several steps ahead, planning out all the details. So one of the things we've already done is actually worked with our HVAC guy, brought him on site, and we actually designed a game plan to try and minimize the soffits here, right? So one of the things that originally was spec'd out on these plans was that there's going to be an air handler closet, and we would have a standing air handler. Now, it was fine it was all good and well on the plans, but when we actually met with our HVAC guy on site, one of the problems was if we had our HVAC closet, it would actually cause us to drop the ceiling on the hallway, because we would have to run the ductwork in the hallway in order to hit all of these rooms, right? So we would have had to drop the a good portion of this hallway. Usually it's probably like a 8 to 9 inch drop, so you'd lose significant ceiling height. So one of the things that we worked out with him as we were going through the framing and we were kind of starting to plan out the HVAC phase is we're actually going to go pancake style air handlers. We shifted the position. It's actually going to get hung up in these closets. And the cool thing is what we're going to do is when the system is hung up, we're already dropping the ceiling no matter what in the bathroom. It allows us to run our soffits across this exterior wall here, and that way we're only creating a soffit on this exterior wall. We're not dropping the ceiling height in the hallway. And if you think about it, I'm totally fine in the kitchen, because in the kitchen this is going to be our cabinet wall anyway. So what we're going to do is we're going to work with our cabinet guy, and when we do the cabinets, we're essentially going to create a panel for the soffit and build it into the kitchen wall. So it's going to look super flush, and you're not going to see any sort of soffit exposure. It's going to be built right into the kitchen. So it's one of those details that we kind of really try to think through, like how do we avoid soffits? How do we kind of keep the most amount of ceiling height open? That's the conversation we have with our HVAC sub early on, well before he even starts on site. So you can see they haven't started yet. We're going to probably try to get them going in the next week or two, but that's already something we've already designed, walked through multiple times with our sub. In terms of other next steps too, obviously I mentioned that we're going to have to frame out the decks. We're ready to now also soon start with the siding work. On this particular project, I really wanted to make the building stand out. It's an awesome 4-story building overlooking the park. So we went with a custom hardy board color. It's gonna look incredible. It's kind of like a dark gray, light blackish building with cedar exposure. If you haven't seen my renderings, check out my Instagram page. I have renderings of this building. It's gonna look incredible, but again, really bring out as much detail as we can to this building to really give it as much design touch quality as we possibly can. So that's what we got going on here at phase 2. Again, our 4-unit condo development. We're making really good progress. I'll keep you guys posted. We'll probably do another video here once we have our mechanicals done and all of our framing is tightened up, and you'll see the exterior of the building finished. But obviously very good progress, a lot going on here. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. I'll catch you on the next one.